Hello everyone, here with your tarot snapshot for Sunday, April 14th. Now, I use the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and I have to shuffle this deck 5 times, and I want to set the intention for our reading today. If you've stumbled across this video, I want to make sure that you understand that this applies to you as much as it applies to me. That while I'm the deliverer of the message, I also benefit from the message itself. Now, anything that I offer up a series of morning messages, I offer up my Sunday night tarot snapshot, I write a blog every Wednesday, and my main goal with that is to not only show you that love and spirit is everlasting, but that we have the power to make change in our lives. I don't want anybody to ever see me as a guru. I don't want acolytes. I don't want anything like that. And anytime that I see somebody, it is to empower them. It is to make them realize that they have the power of strength and love on the inside of them. Love is the greatest source of strength and wisdom that we have to offer. When you have to carry a burden for somebody you love, you become the strongest version of yourself. When you have to solve a problem for somebody you love, you become the smartest version of yourself. That's not a simple emotion that makes us stupid, vulnerable, or weak. That love that's within us is the greatest strength that we have access to, the greatest wisdom. If I were ever in a conflict with anybody, I would much rather fight against somebody that was hating something or their motivations were from a place of fear or hatred versus love. Because I understand the person who loves something is perhaps one of the most dangerous people in this world. Think of the mama bear energy that we can all relate to. Think about what you would do for your family if somebody was threatening them. That comes from a place of love. Now, with that being said, the tarot snapshot, 3-card reading. First card represents who you are, who we are. Second card represents what vexes and perplexes us. Third card represents what heals and reveals. So we're taking a look at who we are. We're taking a look at what is challenging us and taking a look at the guidance and the medicine that we need to get through that challenge. So first and foremost, the card that represents us is the 6 of Pentacles. We see the scales in the 6 of Pentacles, and we also see this give and take relationship here. I think this is a reminder that we need to manage all of our relationships to make sure that they are of equal reciprocity. Now, there will be some relationships that you have that will be a little bit out of balance. You know, if you're taking care of, say, an elderly parent or watching them exist in an assisted living facility, you might not be getting a whole lot back from them. Perhaps one day in the past you were getting a lot from them that you're repaying in that present moment, but there will be some relationships that we can't find equal balance in. There will be some relationships in this world that people will seek to take advantage of you. And I think that's where the sort of pop psychology buzzword of having boundaries comes from. I think it's so vital. Now, we do see this person right here accepting gratefully the money that's coming from this giver. But look at that little pocket right there. You know, that person in red can't see that. That red symbolizes that color of wealth, if you will, the vitality. This person might actually have something. This person might not actually need help, but they're just seeking it to seek it because it's the easiest way to get what they need. This card is asking us to live by the mantra of serve ourselves, not at the expense of others. Serve others, not at the expense of ourselves. I think that for the most part, generally speaking, most of us get that out of balance. Most of us serve others at our own expense. We can't do that. We have to fill up the tires on our car. We have to make sure that they're properly inflated. We have to pour into our cup so we can pour into other people's cups. It's simply a matter of sustainability. You can't deplete yourself and expect to give your family, your community, your loved ones the best version. You can't even expect to give you the best version because you do owe you something. So, balanced relationships, equal reciprocity, and serving ourselves, not at the expense of others. Serving others, not at the expense of ourselves. The card that challenges us, that vexes and perplexes us this week, the Queen of Pentacles. So I see where this reading is going. The Queen, boy, heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? And we can see her with her head tilted and focused on that pentacle. Now, if the pentacles equate to health and wealth, we have to take care of our physical body. This card is illustrating that we're not mothering ourselves in the way that we need to. think about what your greatest conflict is right now, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. Just think about what a great conflict is in your life. Now I want you to think about somebody you love, like a daughter or a sister or a best friend, experiencing that conflict. And I want you to think about the level of care and nurturing and nourishment that you would bring to that person. Are you giving yourself that? Are you giving yourself that? Think about the people that will lose somebody to death, and instead of taking the time to properly grieve and heal from that, well, what they'll do is they will completely plow through it, not give themselves the nurturing that they need, and then they end up really wishing they had, end up suffering to a great degree. So I think this is, a card talking about self-care, feeding ourselves. If this is, my mom is a Virgo, and she kept one heck of a household, fed us well, took care of us well, worked hard for us, all of that. I think that we deserve to give that to ourselves, because I watched my mother certainly not give that to herself. She put herself last, and she really neglected herself through the course of raising us. That's not really healthy. So let's take a look at the card that heals and reveals. Before I flip this card over, the guidance would be, take care of your damn self. Take care of your damn self. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. And you really can't expect other people to take care of you. If I want to take care of my husband, if I want to take care of my child, my family, I have to take care of their husband, their father, their child. My parents, I'm still blessed to have them. I don't want them to suffer. That means their son can't suffer. That means their son, while working through this world and taking care of himself and other people, really needs to focus on being at peace, nurturing himself through whatever challenges that he has. The card that heals and reveals for us is the Ace of Swords. Okay. I love this card. It's not a really, from my experience, not a warm and fuzzy card. So there's some clarity and some truth that needs to be brought to a scenario here in our life. This card represents the hand of fate, or God, or source, or universe, what have you, coming into our life and cutting away that which doesn't serve. Think of relationships in your life. Think of jobs. Think of careers. Are you putting yourself through circumstances? Are you putting yourself through relationships that you'd never have anybody else put themselves through? Are you taking abuse from a boss that you would never want your child or your best friend to put themselves through? That's what needs to be cut away. That is no longer serving you, if it ever served you in the first place. But this card is really all about cutting away that which doesn't serve. And from a practical, strategic place, from an intelligent place, because you can identify people that aren't healthy for you, but it's actually taking the sword, drawing a line in the sand, and creating the boundaries that increase your health. As I'm giving you this message, this also is being mindful of the worries and the pains and the struggles and anxieties that we hold on to. And I like to think that we can tell our mind what to do, that we don't negotiate with it. Our mind does not master us. We master our mind. And if our mind is completely all the time repeating these patterns and these anxieties over and over again, how does that serve? When you're struggling in that way, I want you to think about right now your biggest anxiety, your biggest worry, your biggest fear, and think about what you would tell somebody if they were worried about that. That's the message that you need to give yourself, and that is the ultimate form of self-care. What exists on the inside of you, as well as what exists on the outside of you, that doesn't serve, it needs to be cut away. There's a level of ruthlessness to this card. And I do this because I understand if I engage with something that's draining my energy, that's manipulating me or taking me down a notch, that passes on to every person that I love. And I will not accept that. I won't accept that. So I want you to see that relationship between what you're accepting in your life and how that ripples out into your pain, into your fear, into your worry, and how that goes to everybody that you love. I won't play that game in this life, and I encourage you to not play that game either. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the morning with the morning message. Much love.